When you get engaged, I get the engagement ring. When you get married, I get the marriage ring. Later on in life, I also get the suffering. The three things of marriage. I said, no, I'm the most important finger, I'm the finger of love. And without love, where would we be in this world? So, that left this little fellow. And this little fellow said, I respect all of you, but come on, you have to agree and admit that I am the most important figure out of all of you. Why? Even though you use me to do dirty things. Whenever you pray to the Buddha, I am always closest to the Buddha. That's why the one who cleans up his center is always closest to the Buddha. So this gentleman, he was cleaning up, sweeping up, and then he felt a hand on his shoulder. He came to Perth to tell me this. And that hand, who did it belong to? Yeah, Ajahn Chah. Ajahn Chah, through an interpreter, he didn't have much time. That's one of the great things about Ajahn Chah. He would just say these things so quickly, and they were just so amazingly deep. And one of the things he told me, that I even remember when I went back to Thailand some years ago, I remember the place he told me this, and I pointed it out to the group I was taking for this little pilgrimage. And he just stopped on the arms round, picked up a stick, and he asked me, how heavy is this stick? And before I could answer it, he'd thrown it away. He said, it's only heavy when you hold it. When you let it go, there's no weight at all. Wow, that is so true. So, getting married, is that heavy? It's only when you think about it. Getting old, is that heavy? Nah. What else is heavy in life? It's only when you think about it. Only then is it really heavy. If you throw it away, it's got no weight at all to it. So when my MC said, oh, Ajahn Brahm is the abbot of Bodhinyana Monastery, no la. I'm only abbot of Bodhinyana Monastery in Perth when I'm there. I'm not abbot now. I don't know what's going on there. And this is actually how we can learn how to let go of things. Actually, when I am in Perth, I've got Bodhinyana Monastery to look after, Dhammasara Nuns Monastery to look after, a couple of new monasteries to look after, our city centre to look after, that's in Nollamara, those of you who've been there. I've got monasteries over in Melbourne and Sydney I'm supposed to be looking after. I'm supposed to be looking after my friends in Malaysia, supposed to be looking after in Penang and in Singapore, and the Brahm Society in Colombo, and where else I've got? I forget anyway. So many societies I'm supposed to be the spiritual dictator of, or something of. So much work, and I remember going to, after a very busy weekend over in our city centre in Perth, those of you who've been there, after the weekend in the city centre, going to the forest monastery, the Wat Bar as it's called, in Bodhinyana where I'm supposed to be abbot, and people were saying to me, oh, you are so lucky living in such a peaceful, beautiful place like Bodhinyana Monastery in Serpentine, Western Australia. I said, what? You must be crazy. It's not a beautiful, peaceful place. I've got to teach all the monks, ordain all the novices, make sure all the anagarikas do the right thing, got to go and make sure all the buildings are done properly, talk to the local council, the local government officers to do this and do that, make sure everything is... It's so much work. And then I realized something was very wrong in me. They saw that monastery and they thought, oh, it's a beautiful monastery. For me, it was my workplace. So I decided every Monday morning I'm not going to be abbot. I'm not going to be the boss. I'm not going to be the spiritual director of anything. On every Monday morning, I'm going to be a visitor, not an owner. What that meant was when some of the monks would come up and say, oh, Champon, I had this meditation. Could you? I said, who are you talking to? I'm not a teacher today. I'm just a visitor. Okay. A layperson would come up, Champon, I need to make a donation for something. I said, well, nothing to do with me. It's not my monastery. The water is not working. There's not enough water coming out of the taps. Not my problem. I'm only a visitor. You know, it's wonderful being a visitor just for one morning a week. That's not much to ask. Because when I was a visitor, I had no responsibility. When I had no responsibility, I could relax to the max. So when I relaxed to the max, you know what happened? I could see how beautiful Bodhinyana Monastery was, and how peaceful it was. And I started looking at the faults, because that's what you're supposed to do if you're a manager, if you're a boss, if you're in charge. You're supposed to look for the faults. That's what you're supposed to do. But I decided I'm not going to be a manager. One morning a week, I'm going to be a visitor. When I visited the monastery in which I live, weird, isn't it, to say things like that? I could really appreciate it and enjoy its peace and tranquility and its beauty. You know, sometimes people actually show me a photograph. Hey, have a look at this. Where's that? So that's your monastery. I said, well, no, it can't. But when I actually become visitor, I can see what you see. Peace and beauty. I am not an owner. Now you can understand some of the really deep teachings of the Buddha. Anatta. Not me. Not mine. Not a self. We tend to own far too much. So, your partner. Is it really your partner? 6.5 days a week, yes. But on Monday morning... Not your sister? Is she your sister? No. 6.5 days a week, yes. Or half a day, no. Just a friend. Which means you can see people through a different pair of eyes. You can see them not as an owner, you can see them fresh, new, without being too responsible. So that's one of the reasons why, if you really want to relax, how about trying being a visitor from time to time, not always an owner. You go, when you go home, either maybe not tonight, but maybe tomorrow, Sunday or whatever, you go home, how about having Sunday morning off every week in the apartment or house where you live? Yeah, don't wash any dishes. Look, if you go out for dinner somewhere, maybe you go out for dinner after this talk, If you go to a restaurant, do you wash the dishes after the restaurant, after eating? Of course, they'll be crazy, you'll be mad to do things like that. That's what you pay for, so they wash the dishes and stuff. So just in your home, in the house in which you live, where you pay the rent or the whatever you pay there, have one morning a week where you pretend that your house doesn't belong to you. You're just a visitor. So you can sit in the garden, if you have a garden, and just enjoy the beautiful leaves all over the place, the trees falling down, the flowers which need watering. Instead of controlling it, just enjoy it for what it's like, for what it is, rather than what it should be. In your house, you don't always have to be tidying up all the time. I always say, even when you go home tonight, tonight is what this does work. Before you wash those dishes, you've actually got a name for this in psychology, also obsessive compulsive disorder. Before you wash those dishes this evening, count how many dishes are dirty, needing cleaning. Compare that to how many dishes are clean. And if the clean dishes outnumber the dirty ones, quit when you're ahead. Why not? Otherwise you work, get stressed. Why? Because we're afraid of relaxing. We're afraid of being peaceful. What other people will say about us. So what happens if that's your house? What do you think is your house? People come there and say, why haven't you cleaned the dishes? Not my house. It's Monday morning. Or whatever. But that sense of learning how to let go and connecting that to ownership. So anyway, that guy who was cleaning up over in Wat Pah Pong, Ajahn Chah saw it's an important thing to do, so he gave him that teaching. Whatever you do, he said, give it everything you've got. 100%. Anything you do, give it 100%. And that's what this fellow did. He remembered that on the way home, on the aircraft, thinking, spent all this money and that's all I got. Whatever you do, give it 100%. And he thought about it, contemplated it, meditated on it, and thought, wow, what amazing teachings that is. So when he went to work, and when he was at work, he never thought of his family he'd go home to afterwards. When he worked at the office, he worked in the office. He was in the office. He gave that everything he got. And when he had his lunch hour, or half an hour, he never thought about the work. He had his lunch. Lunch is important. That's one of the reasons that northeast of Thailand, which was mostly Laotian rather than Thai, that they would just had such a wonderful attitude to things like lunch. Like lunch, yeah, like eating. Because one of my friends, he became a monk after this experience, he was having some lunch in the city of Luang Prabang, yeah, which was the #2 city in Laos at the time, on the Mekong River. And it was during the Vietnam War. So even in Laos, had the government troops fighting the communist troops in Laos. It was a war. And so he was having his lunch in this cafe on the river. It was just very basic but very delicious. And so he's having his lunch. He felt quite comfortable because the government troops were there having their lunch. Their machine guns, the M16s, were leaning against the bamboo and thatch. And he was having, and then, what did he see? The communist troops came in. These were the enemies. The government fighting the communists in Laos. And what did the communist soldiers do? They just chose another table. They put their guns against the wall and ordered their lunch. Because in Laos, war always stops for lunch. But after lunch, of course, then the government troops had to leave and the communist troops have to leave. And so when they went out to the restaurant, the communists went left, the government went right, or something like that. So they didn't have to meet each other and fight. So that was a sort of idea they had in that part of the world. Keep it simple, keep it fun. Yeah, our bosses tell us we have to fight, but the bosses, all these old men, they just live in their mansion somewhere and tell other people what to do, so they didn't really fight either. So anyway, that was how, that when you're having lunch, give lunch everything you've got. And then when he went back to work afterwards, he gave work everything he had. When he went home, he never took the work home with him. He gave his family everything he got when he was at home. And then when he was resting, go to sleep at night, he gave resting everything he got. So he never worried about anything when he went to bed at night. When he meditated, meditating everything he got. Whatever he did, he gave it 100%. Whatever he did in his life. And when I saw him, he said, my business has thrived, my family, we've got a wonderful family life, he sleeps well, he's really healthy. And he said, that was one of the Ajahn Chah's most famous, wonderful teachers, saying, yes, I really appreciate that. And don't forget, when you go outside, you pass the donation box, give it everything you got. I don't know why, but that didn't work. But anyway, it's worth a good try. So these are very simple teachings. Just about, oh yes, it was 10 past. So I've been going for an hour. I've been going for much longer. I just, have you heard about all those therapy groups they have in the West now? Do they have those over here, like Alcoholics Anonymous? Yeah, over here. I've started a new therapy group for people who talk too much. It's called Anonymous. I'm a founding member. I can keep going on and on and on. So anyway, I've been going on for 1 hour. So now's a good time for some questions and answers, Q&A. You reckon? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we have microphone here, microphone there. You haven't got any microphone over there.
I can pass my microphone
Okay,
over.
very good.
That side.
So who's going to ask the first tough question? You also have from the higher realms over there. Higher realm beings.
Oh my God. For those who would like to ask a question, you can just go ahead and line up behind the microphone.
Yes.
Yeah. Or if you're sitting up there, you can raise your hand and I can bring the mic up to you.
Yeah.
We have about 45 minutes
Sure.
for Q&A. Yeah.
Yep. No Q&A? Okay, we can all go home. Okay. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, that's the next question, please. Go on.
My question is, how do you deal with stress when studying?
Stress in studying, it's easy.
No, studying is hard.
Studying is not hard. So, here we go. This was a story of when I did my final exams at Cambridge. You know the story? Okay. So, if you know that story, you should have no stress. All it was, those final exams, everything depended upon those final exams in those days. That was 1972. You passed or you failed, and that was it. everything else you've done in those 3 years at Cambridge University counted for nothing at all. Just one series of exams over 6 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, 6 days in a row. A 3-hour exam in the morning, 1 hour for lunch, and another 3-hour exam in the afternoon. Wow, that was tough. Especially because all my teachers, my family, and my friends all said, "You do well in your exams at Cambridge. You get a good degree from Cambridge University, and then you'll be set for life." If only I had known I was going to be a monk, I wouldn't have worried at all. So that's the first answer to your question. Do you want to be a nun? Being a nun, then you have no worries at all. You don't have to stress about exams. I never knew that at the time, so I decided I have to work really hard. So I worked really hard, I studied, I remembered, but when it came to the exam time, in the morning I'd done a 3-hour paper on something like quantum mechanics. That was really tough. And I went back to my room, but I never had a lunch on any of those days. It was morning, afternoon, with no break, except for 1 hour for lunch. Instead I went back, and what did I do? Meditate. As soon as I closed my eyes and started to watch my breath, what happened? Morning exam! How did I do? Did I do well? What did I do? What did I answer? Should I answer more? I started remembering all those things in the morning exam and worrying, did I answer it correctly or not? We all know, once the morning exam has been finished, you handed it in. Can't change it now. Right or wrong, it's finished. It's done. It's settled. All the worrying about it didn't help at all. But can you stop worrying about the past? Why not? Because I've been meditating. It's easy. It's all done, right or wrong, it's finished. So I could let go of the morning exam. So, watching my breath come in, what was the next thing which came into my mind? The afternoon exam on the astrophysics of the galaxy, or something interesting like that. And so, those were topics we had papers on. So, another 3-hour exam coming in about half an hour. Should I get out the books and start revising? No. Because even by then, I'd understood whatever you look up half an hour before the exam starts never ever comes up in the paper. Never, not once. What I really did need to do was to relax to the max. Because I realized then, just worrying about the future, now is where your future is being made. This moment is the only time you ever have. For me, I realized I needed to relax. That was the best preparation I could do for the future exam coming in only about 30-40 minutes time. So I relaxed. So that's how I let go of the past and future. For me, that was morning exam, afternoon exam. The next thing which I noticed shocked me, I was actually shaking. It was high stress. This was final examinations at a big university, and I had understood from my friends that almost my future depended upon this. It was important. So as soon as I could see I was actually shaking, then I could let go and relax. So all that shaking stopped. And the last thing which I noticed was just how tired my mind was. My brain was exhausted. The 3 hours of very heavy mathematics. So after I noticed that, I could relax and get my energy, my brain energy back up. So after half an hour of meditation, those afternoon exams I did really well. Why? Because I knew how to let go. That's how we deal with stress in life. If there's something you can do, please do it. Give it everything you've got. If there's nothing you can do, give nothing everything you've got. And then have to relax. And these are things which I taught this in a Jewish school about 2-3 years ago in Perth, in Australia. And they got, honestly, I got a letter from the principal a couple of weeks afterwards, because it was just before the end of school exams, where for them it was like year 12 students would go for entry into universities. And they got the highest school marks in the state of Western Australia. The principal sent me this letter: "Thank you so much for coming to teach our children. We got the top of the state this year. Thank you very much." It works. So here we go. I teach this all the time, but I don't know, people think that I just tell jokes and funny stories and stuff. But these stories actually, they work. And that's one of the reasons how you can let go of stress. And that's just in school or in university. Imagine what you can do in real life. I don't know if ever, I know this because I knew the Thai monks in London. You know, one of the great tennis players, Novak Djokovic. You like him? You don't? Someone doesn't. Anyway, Novak Djokovic, whenever he plays at Wimbledon, he goes to the Thai temple and meditates every morning there. He's got some sort of house he rents for the tournament, and he's just round the corner, the Thai temple. And the Thai monks are just very innovative, because for those 2 weeks of Wimbledon tennis tournament, they open their car park. They don't have any sort of teachings for that 2 weeks. They open the car park so people can park their cars there, because car parking is so hard to find, and they make a fortune there. But anyway, Novak Djokovic just goes around there and he just meditates. And the monks there, they know who he is. They just don't bother him. You know, "Hi Novak, best of luck," and off he goes meditating in the grounds there. Why? To relax. High stress occupation. He relaxes. That's why he does very well. So in many areas of life, people learn some meditation so they can relax and do well in life. They let go of stress. And of course the last teaching on stress, I'm sure you've seen me do this before. Now, how heavy is my cup? How heavy is my cup? The longer I hold it, the heavier it gets. I'm talking about the experience of heaviness. Of course, it's always the same weight, but if I keep holding this longer and longer and longer, it starts to feel heavy. It's starting to feel uncomfortable now. What should I do? Yeah, put it down. Take a rest. I need to put it down for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or whatever. When I pick it up again and hold it, it's much lighter. At least that's how it feels, because my arm is resting. Stress in life has got nothing to do with how much work you have, how many duties, responsibilities. I'm saying I'm the spiritual director of this, the abbot of something else, and spiritual advisor. I don't know what other words I'm supposed to do, but anyway, I can handle that. Because when I'm tired, I relax to the to the max. Yeah. Yes, got a question over there. Hi. Go on.
Hi, Ajahn.
Hi.
This question is that
Hi Ajahn, this question is actually from Malacca.
From Malacca, they're listening in from there.
Yes.
Oh.
How to let go of the complaining mind and negativity?
Look, no one's listening to your complaining mind. It's a waste of time. So instead of the complaining mind, how about having the praising mind? Just think of all the wonderful things which are happening to you in life. Well, this modern world, you can be in Malacca and still listen to a talk here in, where are we? BJ, Suban, whatever. We can listen to a talk all over the world. It's a wonderful world. So instead of complaining, and your boss at work just never sort of appreciates you. If he did appreciate you, if you really enjoyed your work, tell your boss how much you enjoy working for him, and then he'll lower your salary. Your salary, your paycheck, is a bribe for making you do something you'd rather not do. So instead of complaining about stuff, how many times have I complained since I came here? You know, you pick me up, you're supposed to be my attendant. How many times have I complained about things? None! Yay! That is how you should live. If you complain, no one listens anyway. So how about doing praising? And appreciate just what a wonderful place this is. BGF. How many years have I been coming here? 1990s, yes, that's 20 years coming to the different places. I had a place next to that, eventually built a shopping centre there. And even before then, I remember another small place here, which they had. There was Danny Limmy's. Was Danny still over there? No, it's gone. Yeah. Remember, where was that first place we had? Oh, yeah. Damaso Ultimate, yeah. Jerry's house, yes, I remember going there, staying there for a while. Yeah. So, when was that?
Early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah. Yeah, so it's almost 30 years. Wow.
57.
Yeah. So anyway, been coming here a long time. But you don't complain, I enjoy coming here. You're really nice people. Do you agree with me? Yes. So anyway, that's why I love praising, because when you praise, people smile, and it's much healthier for them, and it's good for everything. So when you go to work, as this fellow, Mr. Go, he was the head of Changi Airport Group or whatever, the CEO, and he said, when you go to work tomorrow, see if you can make sure that you make one person happy tomorrow when you go to work. Determined to do that. I'm going to give them a cup of coffee, something which they like, put a flower on their desk, or just tidy something up for them, or do something they always ask. I'm going to determine to do something good for somebody tomorrow. And if you determine that, you're actually creating happiness in your office, in your workplace. Determining to do that, you're creating more happiness in the world. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm teaching from, 2 to 4 something, and in the evening as well. Oh, I'm going to really get into that tomorrow. Making some people happy. So that instead of just complaining and having a negative mind, go in there and do something. Do something the opposite. Praise. Appreciate. What a wonderful life you have, an opportunity to learn the Dhamma. And if you are sick, oh, it's wonderful when you're sick. You don't have to go to work. You can eat special foods. What else can you do when you get sick? People come and look after you, come and visit you. Yeah, so you can be sick as well. When you say, yeah, I'm sick now. Sometimes people don't appreciate what we have in our life. Always wanting more and seeing what's missing rather than seeing what we have. Okay, another question. Hey. Oh, we've got two questions. No, the lady in front first of all, and the young gentleman at the back afterwards.
Sister, sorry. With your permission, Ajahn Ram and sister, do you mind if we pass around some the donation boxes? So any amount of contribution is very, very much
Give it
appreciated.
everything you've got.
Thank you very much. So I'll do everybody. Sister, you may ask your question. Thank you.
Good evening, Ajahn Ram.
Good evening.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for all your wonderful teachings. I play your DVD on my car every morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
makes my day brighter.
Very good.
So my question is, why is it so hard to do things that is good? Like, for example, exercising, meditating. I know it's good, but why is it so hard and keep going on?
No, it's easy to do good exercise. So you put your hand in your bag, bring out your purse. Where's that box gone? No, it's sometimes we think, oh, should we not? Sometimes just do it. And exercise is really hard work. For me, I think, well, I have to admit that I do 10 push-ups every morning. Every morning I do 10 push-ups. I stand in front of the mirror, give my 2 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need my smiley muscles. That's what, in this part of my life, people say, can take a photograph of you. I've got to get my smiley muscle always ready at any time or place. So that's the exercise for you. 10 push-ups every morning. Agreed? Well, sometimes if you enjoy it, then it's easy, then there's no problem at all. So a lot of good stuff. It's not that hard to do. Just go and just do it.
How about meditating?
Oh,
the intention is there, but once I start there, I start to think of other things.
Oh, okay. That's a serious question. Serious answer is whenever you want to do some meditation, just see if you can get some of those guided meditations. One of your favorite teachers. They're cheap. Actually, they cost nothing at all. Just download them and you can listen to them anywhere, but don't listen to them in the car while you're driving to work. Otherwise, you're going to deep. You might crash your car. No, but if you want to meditate easily, get a guided meditation. And you can listen to that anywhere in your house or anywhere in a park or somewhere. Bring your earbuds, click it on, and you've got Ajahn Brahm with you wherever you go. So nice. People actually do that. And if it's not me, it's another great monk or nun who can actually teach the ones which you really like. Then that really helps. When you learn to drive a car, you have like an instructor sitting next to you. You don't just go by yourself, you wouldn't survive. So you have an instructor sitting next to you who can actually guide you and tell you what to do, someone you trust. And that means that after a while you can just learn all the basic methods of meditation. Because you've got me speaking in your ear, it means that you don't wander off. Have a wonderful, nice time. Guided meditations. They're the best. Okay? Very simple. Okay, we had a question from the young guy in the back there. Coming up. Here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, they can do this, yes. Yes.
Good evening, Ajahn Brahm. And my question is, how do you find Buddhist Gem Fellowship?
Actually, I don't find Buddhist Gem Fellowship. Somebody drove me here. They found it for me. But as for all the people here, it's a wonderful organization in that you have the times to be respectful to monks, to nuns, to elders. There's always a time you can ask your questions. And you are treated with respect, no matter who you are. In the time of the Buddha, there were young men like you who were fully enlightened, who were great, great meditators and very wise. So we don't judge people because of their age, or because of their gender, whether male or female or in between. We don't judge people at all. We learn how to respect everybody. And that's one of the great things with the Buddhist Gem Fellowship. It respects everybody. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next question. Aha, very good.
In meditation, is it considered wandering thought if there's thoughts reminding me to be kind, be gentle, and let it be, and just like meditation guidance thought?
Yeah.
The thoughts.
If those thoughts are directed to meditation, it's not wandering at all, it's actually just focusing your attention on the task at hand. However, if you're always giving those instructions, always, 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 then that is called wandering mind. And the simile is of, say, from here, getting a taxi to KLIA Terminal 1. And you tell the taxi driver, take me to KLIA Terminal 1. Terminal 1, please. Not Terminal 2, not Subhajaya, KLIA Terminal 1, okay? We need to go to KLIA Terminal 1. I've got to get there, okay, to Terminal 1. And you haven't even just got to the nearest intersection yet. The taxi driver will say, I know how to get to KLIA Terminal 1. Okay, that's where you want to go. Sit in the back and shut up. Now that is sometimes what your mind is trying to tell you. I know I'm supposed to make peace, be calm, be gentle. I know that. Stop it. Stop telling me. So I can be peaceful, kind, gentle. But sometimes you don't need to keep reminding yourself. Give the taxi driver your mind, the instructions, and then the taxi driver will go off and do the job. So find that middle way. Don't talk too much to yourself. Just the right amount.
So can last be overcome by meditative thought?
Last overcome, and of course it can. Because after a while, what do you want in life? Sometimes you think, oh, I want this, I want that. I'm not sure, have you got a girlfriend yet? Oh, do you want a girlfriend? He didn't shake his head as hard. They can be very expensive. Lose a lot of money. No, but it's sometimes that lust is something which comes up. You're a young man, so that lust will come up. So this was what I had to tell the young gentleman who became a novice last night, Simon, in Perth. He took the Samanera, the Papacha ordination. And I told him, in our Buddhist tradition, for monks and nuns, whenever you become a novice monk, we give you the 5 meditations to do. Those 5 meditations: hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, and skin. Why? And I explained to him. He was a young man, he was only 23, he was. And I said, when you see a beautiful, hot, drop-dead girl come into this monastery, what do you see? All you see is hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, and skin. That's all you see. And have a think about that. The hair of the head is all dead. The live part of the hair is in the root, but you can't see that. All the hair you can see is dead stuff. Hair of the body, dead stuff. Nails, that's dead. The live part is under the skin, under here. Teeth, dead. And skin, even the skin is dead on the outside. The live part is about 1 millimeter or 2 underneath. So you see this beautiful supermodel come in to the monastery. What do you see? Dead stuff. Would you want to go, ugh, kid, dead skin? Oh, that's sick. So that's how to overcome lust, okay?
Maybe everything you got is like code for being in the present moment all the time. So that's present moment awareness.
Yeah, be in the present moment. But don't just be in the present moment, be kind to the present moment. And appreciate this moment. Because then you're making good karma in this present moment. When you make good karma in the present moment, then of course this is where your future's made. You can have a wonderful future. Okay, very good.
Thank you, Ajahn. Do we have any more questions? We have about 20 minutes more. Yes.
Yes, oh, in back over there.
Good evening, Ajahn Brahm.
Good evening. Oops.
I work as a teacher.
Excellent.
You might have some experience with me. It's quite a stressful environment.
Stressful?
Teach 5 and 6-year-olds.
Well, that's stressful.
And the work day is very tiring, but
Yeah.
also very fun.
Yeah.
However, we feel, we're both teachers, we
Yeah.
feel we have a lot of responsibilities,
Yeah.
and both of us are quite perfectionists, a little bit OCD.
Ah, yeah.
And we're very lucky to work in an environment where people often give a lot of praise and encouragement in a very positive way. However, I often feel that that's their way of saying, you do it, do more, do more, do more. You know, you're good at this, you do it, you do it. And we take on that kind of pressure and those obligations. And I guess sometimes I feel like I don't want to let people down. So I take on more responsibility to do more things. And the workday becomes very, very long, and I'm just really not sure how to deal with all of it.
So you're being exploited. I know the feeling. I'm also exploited. So my trick, because it's very hard to actually to let people down when they're so kind to you and so nice to you. So I have my means. I think many of you know this. They say, oh, can you please come and give a talk at my school? You might ask me that. And then I would say, where is your school? And they said, well, I'll think about it. And there are some invitations I've been thinking about for about 6 years. Basically, if I say I'll think about it, it means no. But instead of saying no, people argue. So well, I'll think about it. Doing the extra thing. And then after a while, they get the message that you're already doing enough. And you find if you keep saying yes to this and yes to that and yes to something else, you've got no life left. People just drag everything out of you. You have no fun. Because especially if you're a teacher, please have lots of fun in your class. And if you're really tired out, no fun, you're really miserable and sick and ugly and angry, what type of teacher is that? Real kind. Yeah. No, so, you stand your ground there. You say, no, this is as much as I can do. And then but also have a lot of fun as well. Sometimes, what was it that I was in Singapore and somebody said, can you please, go and teach these kids in this Buddhist primary school first meditation. I said, okay. I don't know why I said okay, but I did say okay. And anyway, so I went there. It wasn't a primary school, it was a kindergarten. Those were like 2, 3, 4-year-old kids. How am I going to teach them dependent origination? Four Noble Truths. But anyway, they wanted me to go because it was close to Waisak. And so I thought, okay, let's give this a try. So I just made it up as I went along. I said, what happened on Waisak? 3 things happened on Waisak. First of all was the birth of the Buddha, his enlightenment and final passing away. According to the Theravada tradition. So that's what I did. I said, right, Buddha's birth, what did he do? Took 7 steps. Put his finger up, this is my last life, I'm the #1 in the world. So, okay kids, okay, all line up, 7 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not that way round. So all the kids did that, and the kids was participating, doing something. Okay, enlightenment. I had a big picture of the Buddha there in a meditation pose. Okay, sit down, just like the Buddha over there, and your bottom on the floor, right leg over the left leg, right hand over the left hand, thumb slightly touching, straight back, chin in, close your eyes. You're the Buddha. Newly enlightened. Nothing to worry about in here. And this is no joke, those kids really got into it. They were imagining they were a newly enlightened Buddha. And they were quiet, and after about 2 minutes I opened my eyes, and all the teachers said, oh, close your eyes. Because they really got into it. And that was so popular that even the parents, they asked me to do that for them later on that evening. They loved it. Just imagining you're the Buddha, newly enlightened. No husband, no wife, no problems in life. It's totally free. And then after, of course, they're just being the Buddha passing away. So on your right side, just your right arm under your head, feet one on top of the other, straight as you can. Even the Buddha passing away. It's amazing that they all got into it. All these 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. So very, very successful. So that's actually how you teach kids. Teach them to be like a Buddha, and they go quiet. Very successful. So be innovative and have some fun. But don't get tired out. Next question. Yeah, at the back, yes.
Two questions ago, you answered on doing good karma.
Very good.
There have been criticisms in discussions with friends that in the Buddhist concept whereby you seek to do good, charity, that is actually building up good deeds and your good karma.
Yes.
With the end of the achievement of Nirvana in mind. If you set out to do good for others because you are thinking about your own benefit, your own good karma, that is selfish and that does not hold water, that is bad. How would you answer that?
It's not really bad.
That's what you say.
But you can do better. So that's like a story when I do marriage blessings. So there's sometimes that people, whenever you get married, if you do get married, people always, it's an important part of a transition in your life. And oftentimes they want some spiritual leader to actually to give them some blessing, some advice. So what I do is, once the rings have been exchanged and stuff, then I look at usually the bride, look straight into her eyes and say, you are now a married woman. From this moment on, you must not think of yourself. Before you were married, you can go wherever you wanted to. You still had your boyfriend or your fiancé, but now you're married. You must not think of yourself. Immediately, I then look at the guy, the husband. I said, you are now a husband, you're married. You must not think of yourself either. And still looking at the guy, I say, and now you are married. From this day on, you must not think of her, your wife. And I immediately go to the girl and say, and you're now a married woman, you must never think of him from this day on. And then they look at me and think, who did we get to marry us? This is a crazy monk. Can't we actually get somebody else? And that's when I tell them the solution to that little problem. I said, when you're married, you must not think of yourself, nor must you think of your partner. You must only think of us. The third option. If you just think of yourself, that's selfishness. That's not a marriage. If you think of your partner, that's just, you'll get burnt out after a while. It's all about giving to this other person. When you think about us, it's all about us. It's not about me or my partner, it's about us. Then you find the third solution. That is the correct solution for any family. And of course, that dana, that sharing, that giving, it's not about you. It's not about the BGF or my organisations. It's about us. So when you think about it as us, I'm not giving for you. I'm not giving for me. I'm giving for us. And that solves the problem. And of course, if there's any problem at all, whose problem is it? Our problem, yeah. So we're in it together. So we share. I guess, what a good fun that way. Does that answer your question? No? Very still.
Not precisely.
Not precisely. Yeah, but you tell them that. You say, life is not precise.
The point of the matter is that you are setting out to do something, not because you want to do it for that person's benefit, but because you want to achieve your goal. That is the criticism.
Yeah,
That is the
if
criticism.
a person wants to achieve their own goal, they're never going to get there. It always has to be our goal. In it together. The less there is a sense of self, then the more there is giving. Not a giving what you own, but giving up the ownership. Otherwise, you keep giving, but the person just wants their names on the walls. They gave this much. That's not giving. That's buying advertising rights on the temple wall. So instead of real giving, you're giving expecting nothing back in return. You're giving because it's all about us. What am I doing here anyway? What am I doing in Malaysia? I live in Australia. I come here to give, to share. Because many of you are my friends. Many of you come over to Perth. I know many of you for many years. So I'm just visiting my friends. And just giving talks, that's just what I do. Someone's going to give a talk. Anyway, another question? Yes, okay. You have to come to the microphone if you want to ask a question.
Ajahn, this is actually my own question, and it's related to what you were saying about giving, the 4 ways of letting go. I was told that they actually mean just one thing, it's just different facets of the same thing.
Yeah, sure.
Is that?
Yeah, that's good enough.
Thank you.
Wow, that's an easy one. Yeah, the 4 ways of letting go are like chaga, which is usually what we call giving, but it's expecting nothing back in return. The next one is chaga patinisaka, which is throwing things away, seeing how less you can have rather than how much more you have. And muti, freedom. So you can go in your home and you don't have so much stuff, you have to get around here, get around there. And lastly, anarya, nothing sticks to you. You get praised, you get blamed. Oh, that's just part of life, welcome.
And we'll take one last question.
Okay.
How do you deal with really annoying people?
Annoying people. So number 1, if they are part of your family, then you're stuck with them. So praise them. Praise the annoying people. Find something in them which you can really sincerely praise. You're just wonderful in this area. 90% of their life, they're really nasty, awful, terrible people. But they share the same genes with you, so they must have some good in there somewhere. So when you praise them, then they won't be so nasty to you. This is just, the doctor was practicing this. All these years I've been teaching her, she always gets criticized by her fellow doctors. But then she decided to praise her fellow doctors. Then her fellow doctors started praising her. What are you giving to those people who are very nasty to you? Because what you give to them, you get back. You give some praise and kindness to them, and then they'll give you praise and kindness back. Oh, there we go. That is, still got time for another question? No? Okay.
Would anyone else like to ask a question? Or we call it night?
Okay, looks like that. Okay.
Alright. Yeah, thank you very much once again, Ajahn Brahm. You have been Just for everyone's information, before Ajahn leaves to take his rest, the session today is actually recorded on Facebook Live as well as live streamed on YouTube. So if you want to have a review of the session or if you want to share this talk with other people, feel free to do so. You can like us on like and follow us on Facebook. Our name is Buddhist Gem Fellowship. There you can find us, and yeah, just spread it far and wide. And for Ajahn Brahm, thank you again.
Very good.
So Ajahn, you'll be all right with a photography session with everybody?
Photography, I'm an old fat monk. I'm not... Okay.
So this will be after the session. Ajahn Brahm, if you could lead us in the sharing of merits and blessings.
The sharing of merits. So the sharing of merits is when we think of some of our departed relations who are not here today, and the merits of listening to a talk and obviously giving donations. May that merit be shared with our loved ones who aren't here today. It's Idang Me Nyatinang. Idang Me Nyatinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Yatayo. Idang Me Nyatinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Yatayo. Idang Me Nyatinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Yatayo.
Let's show Ajahn Brahm our heartfelt gratitude and appreciation with 3 resounding sadhus. Sadhu! Sadhu!
Excellent.
Thank you very much again, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, Venerable, and Ajahn Brahm. So before Ajahn Brahm takes his leave, I would like to take this opportunity to make some announcements. So we have 4 categories of announcements. I would go from the top. So first, again, there's a dana opportunity for everybody. If you would like to support Buddhist Gem Fellowship of Bodhiana Monastery, feel free to head over to the BGF shop on ground floor near the glass door main entrance, where you will find a variety of BGF merchandise, Buddhist music albums from iGems and the Wayfarers, as well as Chinese New Year cookies, homemade Chinese New Year cookies, yeah. And the sales of Ajahn Brahm's Dhamma books are also available right outside there in front of the elevator. So feel free to grab yourself a few, especially Open the Door with My Heart, which has actually inspired one of iGems' new album, the 3rd album, which we'll be sharing more about on the 21st, on Saturday. And yes, for upcoming events, Ajahn Brahmali will be conducting a Sutta study retreat in February of 2020 here at Buddhist Gem Fellowship. If you want to know more information, feel free to log on to our Facebook or the BGF website, bgf.org.my. Yeah. And also Ajahn Brahm's retreat will be happening in December 2020, so book ahead because it sells out like hotcakes. So Ajahn Brahm will be in KL on from the 19th, and then Ajahn will be heading over to Penang on the 27th. Subsequently, he will be in Singapore on the 30th, and 31st he'll be heading back to Perth. Yeah, pretty efficient at relaying information, especially when it's so important. Yes. So aside from that, we would like to send out a reminder as well to those who have yet to renew their BGF membership or would like to apply for BGF membership if you're interested in a Dhamma work that we are doing here at BGF. So registration and membership fees for 2019 would be 40 ringgit, and from 2020 onwards it would be 60 ringgit. Yes, and to do so you can see Sister Ngui, who will also be in front of the elevator. And finally, do sign up for the BGF WhatsApp broadcast to receive regular updates on our events and activities here at BGF. So this is the tiny URL link to sign up. So just access the link, give us your information, and we'll add you to our broadcast list. And you will also have to add this number, which is the sender's number, broadcast sender's number. In order to receive our broadcast messages. Yes, so that's all for announcements. Thank you very much once more. I would not take your time, hold you back. Go ahead and take your photographs with Ajahn, explore the different books and merchandises available here in BGF. Yes, we can have a group photo. We will need that. So, cameraman, how should we do it? Okay. think Aja will take it from the stage. On the stage here. So everybody, if you could make your way out to the stage. Maybe some of us can stand below the stage for a quick group photo for our Facebook and YouTube.